Hi, good evening. It's evening here. I don't know if it's evening where you are when you're watching this. But this video is for the end of sprint 1 of the 30-day challenge. And I flagged, I think in the intro talk and again this morning, when we finish sprint 1, that we need to mark off as done. So I told you that this 6-sprint system, 5 days per sprint, was inspired by something called the Yijing. Now, I'm no expert in the Yijing, but I am a fan, and it's something it's a book that I've read for many years. Maybe it's not so much a book that you read as one that you reference. Many people use it for divination, and I've got all sorts of copies. And I'm going to show you a few here. This is a very famous one by, I think it's a German chap called Wilhelm, but famously with a foreword by Carl Jung, the famous student of Freud, psychotherapist. That's a very, very detailed version. I have a cool version that I really like by one of my favourite cartoonists. One of my earliest books on Chinese philosophy was by this chap, and he just makes things that are lovely and fun to read. Yeah, whilst also being very good source material. So that is one of my favourite copies. And this is probably my first copy, one I found on the bookshelf when I was young. I think it belonged to my stepdad. And I've always come back to this one. I quite like it. So yeah, I'm not going to teach you anything about this because I'm not qualified to do that. But I wanted to show you the patterns that you get in there. I'm sure many of you will have seen this stuff before. But you get 2 lines of 3. They're the sort of the Adidas signs that I was talking about. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's a very old Chinese system, like thousands of years old. Its origin shrouded in mystery and mythical tales, and its application, many things, like, the inventor of binary. Apparently, if you turn these hexagrams on their side, it becomes a kind of binary system. You have one line that could be broken, one line that could be solid, which is very much like the zeros and ones of binary. So I believe Leibniz, the creator of binary, was very much inspired by the Yijing. I have another book that sort of maps the Yijing trigrams, I believe this is, onto the codons of DNA, and seems to find that there's a very good and tidy map there. So for something that's many thousands of years old, origins shrouded in mystery. It's also the kind of thing that is used for divination, really, fortune telling. And yeah, many Chinese rulers of the past would have had their Yijing person. Even my good wife today, she has her Yijing person that she calls up when she has questions about what to do in life. So that's the inspiration for breaking the 30-day challenge down into 6 sprints of 5. Like I said, we can have some fun with it. So get yourself a piece of paper. I have a book, okay? On the piece of paper, starting at the top, on the side, write the number 6 down to 1, okay? So 6 at the top, then 5, then 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. Thus just so you don't start at the bottom and run out of room at the top. And then each of these 6 now represents one of our sprints of 5. And if you do 5 days in a row, let's go for a solid line. Now, I'm going to suggest we do this in another way, and you will spot it being the end of day 5. I haven't been doing this as we go along, but this is what I suggest. On day 1 of a sprint, you draw a line on the left. On day 2 of the sprint, you draw a line on the right. On day 3, fill in a little bit on the left. On day 4, a little bit more there. And on day 5, we're going to make it solid. So, you know, this challenge is not just a challenge for you, it's a challenge for me too. I'm doing it live day by day. And here is my first week. And I got a solid line. Hopefully you've been following along and you've seen it too. And hopefully by the end of the 30 days, I'll have 6 solid lines. I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I will. Hopefully life throws no curveballs and I can keep making these videos. But anyway, that's the fun. Yeah, draw your line. I would suggest if you're following the videos, and what would you do if you missed a day? Do you just miss that video? Probably not. You probably just can complete the video. I did have a thought how we could do it. It slipped my mind. I will leave it to you, or maybe you can tell me how you think it would work. You've got to have a dash one though. If it takes you 6 days or 7 days to get through your 5, give yourself a dash line. And then when you finish the set, move on to the next one, start again. See if you can do 5 days in a row the next time. If you don't, give yourself a dash line. And all that would mean is you'd have a blank bit in the middle. And then we'll get a hexagram. And if you've got one of these books, the interesting thing, the fun we're going to have is that you will end up with a random one. Hopefully, if you get them all solid, that would be heaven. If you don't manage a single 5 days in a row, but you still get through, but it just takes you longer, that would all be earth, pure earth. And if you get like sometimes 5 in a row, other times not, you'll get one of the ones in the middle. There are 64 possibilities and they all effectively have a different fortune-telling outcome. It's written in an interesting way. If you never come across it, maybe get yourself a book. The only bugbear I have is that this is normally what we see. Yijing, you might say, but it sounds nothing like they say in China. They say Yijing, and it would be spelt differently as well, even though the Chinese don't use our letters. They have a method of writing using our letters. So modern way of doing it is Y-I, new word, J-I-N-G, Yijing. It's the same, but this is just the old-fashioned way of writing in English. The same reason why we might say Tai Chi. That's the most common, yeah, in English. But really in Chinese, or the way of writing it in modern Chinese is Tai Chi, T-A-I-J-I. Just like Uji, the same G, pole. Okay, that was supposed to be short. Went on a bit longer than I thought, but get yourself a piece of paper. 2 6 to 1. Set yourself a goal and we'll get there together.